So finally, the reason why I think everyone is here is we're going to get a weather update. So now I'd like to welcome up Aaron Henning with Public Works and Utilities to discuss our hardworking crews and how they have responded to today's weather. So Aaron?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we are under a winter weather warning until 6 o'clock tonight with good reason, I think, obviously. Forecast is for 6 to 8 inches of accumulation total. We've been at full activation since 4 o'clock yesterday. We started treating roads with salt sand mix around 8 o'clock last night to try to get ahead of the transition to freezing rain and sleet, try to prevent the buildup of ice as much as we could. That transitioned to snow around 2 o'clock this morning, and we had accumulated enough by around 4 a.m. to initiate plowing operations. And that's what we continue to do now, and we expect to be doing that for the foreseeable future. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Why do you guys start treating roots early? Because normally when you get rain beforehand, you don't treat it because it washes away.
Yeah, so we have two kinds of pretreatment. We have a brine pretreatment that we can use. That we will use if there is no rain in the forecast. That gets washed away and diluted pretty easily. But we do have to have a fair amount of warning to use that. It takes us about 5 days to put that down on all of our designated routes. In this case, when we do have rain that's going to transition pretty quickly into freezing rain, sleet, other things that will accumulate ice, we do try to get a head start on that and pre-treat, but it's with the dry material that tends to hold better on the road. There is a limit to that, of course. I mean, if it was really coming down hard, we would have to, not do that because it would just wash right off the road. But last night was good conditions, and we think we got a lot of benefit from it.
One thing we talked about 2 weeks ago with the last winter storm was the wind. And
Yes.
causing some trouble. Are you seeing that again?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, we are seeing drifting. We're seeing areas, that are open with almost whiteout conditions, actually whiteout conditions. It is really tough out there right now.
So you said you plan on having crews out for the foreseeable future. When do you think you might be wrapping up? Is the wind going to affect it? Anything else that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, the wind is definitely an impact. Our streets, for the most part, are curb and gutter streets. They're basically bowls. So when that blows around, a lot of it ends up in our streets. So we get kind of a double dose. We get the snow that's falling down and the snow that's blowing around. They're expecting the bulk of the snow to end around 1. There is a chance that it might continue until 3 or 4 or so. It looks like the wind should be dying down around 4 or 5 o'clock tonight. Up until that time, I think anything that we plow right now is probably going to be covered back up again pretty quickly. It usually takes us at least a full shift to get all the way around plowing all of the roads. So it'll be a while before we get back to that last one. In the meantime, temperatures are going to be falling. So we probably are going to have quite a bit of snowpack remaining overnight. Conditions tomorrow, though, are supposed to be sunny and a lot warmer. I think they have a high of 39 or so. So we hope to see a lot of progress tomorrow. But we do expect to be engaged through at least tomorrow.
So even though that snow is going back on, are you plowing it anyway?
Yes, yes. Yeah, the snow that we plow off isn't quite as susceptible to blowing back in because it does have the material in it. It has started to melt. It is wetter and heavier. It's the stuff that we haven't done anything with. It's, you'll see some areas of grass where it doesn't look like there's even an inch of snow because it's all blown off.
Any advice to drivers who might be dealing with some visibility issues as far as the wind and swirling snow?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, we'd encourage everyone to stay home if you possibly can. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know if there's really a good solution to the low visibility problem other than just stay home if you can. But if you do have to get out there, you of course want to slow down, plan ahead and allow plenty of time to get to wherever it is that you're going, and make sure that you have an emergency kit in the car just in case something does happen.
Does the ice play any part, a little bit of icing? We had that rain, freezing rain. Is that a little different from last time it was that we didn't have to deal with the ice kind of?
Yeah, I suppose it's somewhat different. With the amount of snow that we have, I don't think it's going to play out a lot different than last time because we do have a good layer of snow on top for the most part that's going to still provide some traction.
How long do you plan on having crews going until sometime tomorrow probably?
Yeah, I would say at this point, we're 100% going to have people in at noon to relieve the outgoing shift. I would say there's a chance maybe they don't have to work all 12 hours. We are on 12-hour alternating shifts now, but we'll just have to see. I mean, we don't know what we're going to end up with snow-wise yet. It could be the 6, it could be more than 8. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of similarities to this snow as the one about 2 weeks ago, except for tomorrow's higher temperatures, which is probably good.
Right, absolutely.
Did you guys learn anything, do anything differently, or just trying to take it step by step?
We're taking it step by step, yeah. Yeah, these are challenging, this one in particular, the timing of it, it coincided with rush hour traffic. We had 2 or 3 inches down. It takes us a long time to get over all the routes. So when you have that 2 or 3 inches of snow or whatever it might have been at the time, exposed to traffic in these cold temperatures, it gets compacted awfully fast. And at that point, then there's, plowing doesn't do a whole lot for that. There's no down pressure on the plow. Plow tends to ride over that. Then we kind of have to wait for our material, hopefully some sunshine and traffic to combine to get that to really start to melt and break up. One of the things I will mention kind of related to that, just because we do get questions about it from time to time, our trucks are typically in pairs. We do have a few routes that have 3, but they have designated routes that they service. So when they are plowing, they are always treating behind them because when we plow, it slicks everything off and it can become a real ice rink out behind us if we don't treat. So those trucks are doing that on their routes. They will have to return to get refilled with material. They'll have to return to change a plow blade, things like that. When they do that and they go to, or fuel's a big one too. When they do that and they have to go back and then return to their route, they do not plow and treat in between. Because if we did, we'd have everybody kind of concentrically going out from the base station and we'd never get very far. So when you do see trucks with their plows up, they're probably en route to get fuel, coming back from getting fuel, something like that, and returning to the route that they are assigned to. Thank you.
And just do want to thank our workers out there making our streets as safe as possible. As was mentioned, they're working 12-hour shifts right now. They're working overnight. Just want to thank our staff who's been on top of this. If you are not following our official social media, we would encourage folks to do so. Just yesterday, when we got more details about the weather, they put out a statement on our official Facebook and Twitter page telling folks what to expect this morning. And again, our staff is recommending that if you don't have to go out, please don't go out. My personal experience driving here this morning is it took me twice as long. And I'm someone who learned how to drive in New Hampshire in December. So very familiar with snow, and this the visibility part and the wind part is just factors that make this storm unique, at least in my experience. And of course, we do want to encourage people to keep their lights on. If you have folks in front of you and you can't really tell if you have your lights on, it might be a little easier to navigate through some of the less visibility.